Are houses and properties ever coming to Red Dead Online? For starters, yes, obviously there's going to be some sort of system where you can buy a house at some point during the game's life cycle. I feel like that's a given. But for everybody who's playing now in early 2019, is it even feasible for us to think about having a house soon? No. Unless there is some sort of single player DLC where you can buy a house that I'm not really considering, or they open up more houses for Milton, something like that. We're excluding all of that because I don't think that's going to happen anyway. But I woke up this morning with a question on my mind. Can we get houses inside of RDR2 Online in the next 6 months? And I don't think we can, and here's why. For starters, we have this list of properties that got leaked a while back, and my thought is houses are going to be part of the official rollout plan for the actual Red Dead Online. So once it's out of beta, houses may come into play, and it might even be further down the line than that. Because if you think about it, when you go to your camp right now, the only equipment you can upgrade, the only thing you can purchase is a fast travel post, okay? My thought is they are going to flesh out the camp system tenfold before they start bringing in things that are going to cost you even more money. I think the camp system isn't in a good enough place yet for them to move on to another living quarters situation, and I think they know that. There's too much hate online for crypts moving the camp, for crypts in general, actually, I would say. There's too much hate online for like the camp not having any use for them to move on to an entire secondary aspect of the game. Not that maybe they haven't been planning houses from, before the beta, even like way before the game got announced. I would imagine they've been planning, okay, people will be able to buy houses, blah blah blah. But when they're implementing the camp system, it's still not up to snuff yet, and it's hard for me to think that they would immediately turn around and start working on an entirely different system when you're still gonna have your camp, because you're gonna be able to set your camp up in the Grizzlies and have a house but near Blackwater. Like, that's obviously gonna be a thing. So they, regardless of adding houses or not adding houses, they're gonna have to fix the camp system. And if the camp system's not fixed, I have a huge doubt that they would make it. And on top of that, the house system is going to be hard, because unless they flat out do loading screens like they did in GTA 5 Online, which I highly doubt they will, just because it's going to be super immersion breaking. It kind of goes against everything that Red Dead does. I think it'll be much more like when you walk into a tailor's and your kind of character turns invisible. Maybe it'll be something similar to the horse access menu, where you can, let posse members walk inside your door, but only you can walk inside it otherwise. And if you're in somebody else's posse, then that posse member's house is the one that loads on the map. If that makes sense, like there could be a couple of predetermined, if you're in a posse, then their thing loads. If you're not in a posse, then your thing loads, and you can't walk into their door that way. There's no weird double spawning of, maybe if you have different upgrades in your house or whatever. The point is, see how this sounds kind of weird? It's because it's hard to implement. And so it's hard for me to even consider that we're gonna have houses by, month 9 of 2019 when it's only month 3. I feel bad for being the one that's making this video. I guarantee you people are going to dislike this video because they don't want to hear that we're probably not going to have houses for a while. I would say at least 3 months. I would be shocked if we could own a house in 90 days. Like, I don't even think that's feasible in any way, shape, or form. I mean, 180 days seems vaguely more likely to me, but I think even then we'll just start getting announcements for it if they're implementing it like that. After that wall breach came out, a lot of people went into almost every house in the game, and very few of them looked livable. If you go into the epilogue, there is a couple of houses that say for sale. I've watched every clickbait video on YouTube today, by the way, about houses. So if you go into the epilogue, there's a couple of houses, or I think there's actually only one house that is not even in Red Dead Online because of the timeline of the games. But if you go into the epilogue, there's a house that has a for sale sign out front of it. And so a lot of people have been like, oh, this is definitely a purchasable place. And I'm not saying it's not. I think it might have been world building a little bit so that, Milton doing the whole building of the house was believable. But anyway, my thought here is that we're not going to get houses for a while, at least properties, like the way we're thinking about it. We might get, I did see this in a video, there was somebody who said that maybe we're going to be able to buy a plot of land and have a permanent camp on that plot of land, which I think would be cool. But I think the whole purpose of the camp is to kind of be tailored to wherever you are in that particular play session. I think that's kind of what Rockstar wants you to do with it. That's my thought, is I don't think we're gonna get houses for a while. I know this video is not gonna be popular. I know people are gonna be like, I'm done, fuck it. I was kind of hoping to make a different video, but when I started looking at this, it really seems like they need to flesh out the camp system. There needs to be more that you can buy in the camp. The camp needs to have an actual use beyond filling your cores when you get into free roam or filling them when you're in the camp. There's got to be more things here besides, I mean, there's also a collection box. Like that is nice that you can get your collection box there, but it's really cool, but they've got to flesh that out to a substantial degree before they even think about turning their attention over to houses. And if you look at it from a monetary standpoint, yes, houses will be more expensive, but it is much more feasible to get people to spend 13, 15, 20 gold on camp upgrades than it is for them to spend, you know, 15,000 in-game dollars on a house. Or, I mean, maybe it won't be that much. Maybe it'll be 1,200. All the property prices that got data mined were placeholdered at $1,000, but I don't think that's a real price. Because there's guns that cost a lot of money, and I don't think you should be able to buy like 2 guns for the price of a house. That doesn't seem very correct to me, but that's my general consensus. Now I have another version of this video that I'm planning on doing. It's all up to you guys though. So if you guys want to see a version of this video about wagons, whether or not I think we'll be able to own those soon, because I got a different take on that. I'll spoiler alert, but yeah, so I can make that video if you guys want. Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, please request any videos you'd like to see, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.